Market recap for Monday, the 23rd of March. Alright, so today I had um buy side liquidity. That's what I was just looking for. I was looking for us to just go higher. However, I see in the morning that we have these two candles that just took all the targets, so I didn't trade today, right? There's just nothing to trade when we've taken all the liquidity, right? And in terms of final targets is I had two, right? Either we're gonna take all the liquidity and push here, but have higher time frame reasons to go higher. So I'm looking at this part of unfilled gap, which I was talking about Friday, I think last week. And why? Because we don't need to go above this, right? Because after going above that, we're really just breaking the structure. Okay. So that's my maximum point. And I have it highlighted like this, even though this is the gap, because this is the part that's unfilled. And because this was immediate after it, this would probably look like something on, I don't know, an 8 hour, right? Yeah, like an 8 hour fair value gap, as you can see right there. Like, it's the same thing, right? It's just basically a gap, right? It doesn't have to be fully filled or unfilled or whatever, right? As long as you can see the gap in different time frames without even checking the other time frame, and then it's good enough, right? Anyway, that's the buy side, and then that's the internal liquidity as a target for me. And as you can see, we've already reached that way before market opens. And normally this day would be 9:30 would open and start pushing us higher like that, right? To get all the liquidity. So now that we've gotten all the liquidity in terms of buy side, there's really nothing to trade today, and that's why I avoided trading today. Right. So I'm gonna have like now this replay, right? To try trade something when there's genuine nothing. I'm probably gonna get a loss, but it's for practice reasons. There's nothing else really because we have London low, right? Which I think is impossible to get to today. And we have the initial liquidity, which is also what I think is impossible to get to today. So I'll probably be looking for a 9:30 um like high or low to get into in terms of liquidity and just leave it at that, right? We'll see for intraday. This high um is potentially the high of the day, right? It's potentially right because it went straight to where I would expect it to go. So there's no reason to be taking that out, especially after we took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buy side liquidities that I care about. There's no reason to take the initial buy side, but if it's taken, we're definitely bearish after that. If we're not showing any interest or there's an SMT with ES, then I'll be looking to take shorts to maybe the 9:30 open or something. So let's get this to 9:30. You can see there's nothing really for 9:30, right? But we do take sell side to visit this gap. And right now I just want to check our regular trading hour. The regular trading hours opening range gap. And let's just have that labeled. And the open is here actually. Let's just have the quadrants. And then we just want to see if we can reach the lower quadrant at all. And I'm gonna give this till 9:40. I'll be watching out for the first presenter's fair value gap if I see any. Nothing here is interesting. I mean, I could just use this as a first presented. See, a hypothetical long, right? Well, I don't know. Yeah, let's say, right? And it's just this is like a low probability trade, right? Just really, really low probability. Why? Because we had we showed no interest in reaching even the lower quadrant of our opening range gap, which means we're still bullish. So I'll just be looking for I don't know this buy side, right? This is just one MNQ, right? And stop loss would be at this low, right? this is just a hypothetical long to maybe get into this. And you know what? Let me buy two so I can have a runner, right? And that's the only thing I'm seeing right now. Let's just check the 5 minute. And really not much. Let me just make sure that my stop loss is below the mean threshold right there. And that's it. That's all I can see right now, and it's probably a losing trade. It's just garbage. Alright, there. That'll be like one, sell one, right? Here, stop loss would have to go to break even after that. As you can see, we got close to the stop loss, but you know, you just need to know what you're doing. Anyway, still garbage, right? And now we just need to check ES. Do I have any SMTs? Yes, but it's not really with the highs. So now I'm not expecting us to take the highs no more. Where did my long go? Alright, let's just remember where it was. Alright, that's SMT. I mean relative equal highs. We'll just wait to take that high again. Remember my break even was here. So we're still in the trade. We're making relative equal highs again. Still in the trade. Never mind, we hit a break even. I would probably, not gonna lie, once we make this, because I'm guessing there's an SMT here. Yeah, there we are. There's an SMT there. I would have closed my position. See, that is my only trade, and we haven't done anything. So I wouldn't expect us. Well, the only target now would probably be the 930 low. So let's just get rid of this. We don't need that. And that will be probably my only target for today. Unless we take these highs, because now they're relatively equal highs. But I'm already outside my trading hours now, right? We'll hit 11. I'm basically done. I'm off the chart, but just for tape reading purposes, we can see that we get the 930 low. So, and the midpoint of the opening range gap, and we start going higher. Assume you're gonna start heading higher, or just basically consolidating this range. Really, there's nothing much to do in the day. Yep. And let's just wait for the full closure. Alright, so as you can see, absolutely nothing. Right, straight garbage. That was the long. It wasn't nice. It wasn't clean. It wasn't whatever. Right, original stop loss would still not hit, but you know I moved it slightly lower for right there, and it still didn't hit. The vertical TP would have hit, and the second one would have to close slightly down here whenever the SMT happened. So yeah, if you traded today, I don't know why would you genuinely trade? There was nothing to trade, as you can see. I mean, maybe maybe that's me. Maybe it's a skill issue, but as you can see, it's just low probability. Now that we have closed, let's just wait for full closure. Actually, need to wait for the close and open, right? So we can clear on the next day, right? So let's get rid of the opening range gap, and like I said, this high could stay as the high for the week, or it could get bumped, right? Like genuinely get bumped, like a slight high, maybe to here, and then we could go lower, right? Tomorrow. What makes me still bearish, right? Because I expected all of this, but I have a condition to still stay bearish. So let's get to the daily now, and let's get rid of everything. Right, let's just delete everything. There's nothing useful unless we're gonna use tomorrow. We went and made relative equal lows with this, so our weekly target is this low. That would be my official weekly target, this low. So if that's gonna be our weekly target, then we can't go above our previous week high, right? So let's put that right there. So now let's go into the 4 hour to just have a quick look at the market. This means regardless of how, if we're gonna go higher tomorrow, like take this high for example, which is a 50-50. Well, we can't go above this high, right? We can't change the market structure right there. We need to still be in this bearish stance. And the good thing about this is we went to discount and we went to the liquidity above it, and then we went to whatever PD array that you can find on the 4 hour, 8 hour, whatever daily. It doesn't matter, right? We've done the manipulation. We've done what we need to do for manipulation. If we want to just get rid of early shorters basically tomorrow with another sweep and start heading lower, then it could make sense because we have this 4 hour busy, right? That could push price higher. Unless we fully close below it, then we know that we are very, very bearish. Okay. On top of that, on the daily, it was important where we closed today because I had this marked where the midpoint at this let's just put this see right, the midpoint of this wick and the midpoint of this wick, right? We can't close above that if we're still bearish. And where do we close? We close below it and we open below it. So as long as we remain below this on a closing basis, then I'm still looking for bearish price action. Okay, as you can see, that's exactly what we do. So tomorrow we want to see the same thing, right? We're gonna be looking at that wick. So now if we can go to the 1 hour maybe, right? You can see that wick kind of lines up with the rejection block. So either we could have an SMT, right? ES goes higher there, or we just don't. We just go to the rejection block. We don't really need the SMT. We've done what we need to do basically in terms of manipulation. Create this 1 hour CB. And we start to deliver lower from it. This could be our high of the week, but Tuesday sometimes does create the high of the week on a typical expansion week. So it would not be out of the blue if we just come and just make sure that we out. We take this high, come lower, and then make another high, right? For make this Tuesday high as a long-term high, right? So tomorrow is basically wait till 9:30 and see how we built overnight um structure really, right? And then mainly we're watching how we're gonna react to the midpoint at this and around it basically. And is it gonna hold or we're gonna start slowly bleeding through it? And if we start slowly bleeding through it, and for example at 9:30 tomorrow we at this low already or basically near it and we inverse this, then I'll be using this whole area as like an inversion, right? And we're not gonna take this high and I'll be just looking for lower prices. And if that's the case, if we're that bearish tomorrow, then on the 4 hour, we can see that we have lower lows to target, right? So we could have a really bearish week this week if that's the case. So that's the market recap, really. Let's just see what we've done so far, right? Market just opened, and it looks like we're still holding our ground for now, right? So there isn't really much to say or tell right now. We're just gonna have to wait, but we could have an insight from our news. So tomorrow we have news. Wednesday we have no news. 8:30. That's fine. Alright. So Wednesday having no news is fine because normally Wednesday it doesn't really need news. It's gonna go right. Tuesday with news is a good indicator that we're gonna have a decent day tomorrow, I guess. And Thursday, if if tomorrow, right, if Tuesday makes the high, then Wednesday is gonna start that expansion, and Thursday is gonna really accelerate, right? And then Friday will close back into the range. So that's how I see the week. Unless, like I said, Tuesday we wake up tomorrow and this whole structure, anything bullish is really gone, then we're not looking to get above these highs really, and we're just looking to continue the bearish stance. And it'll be Tuesday that will accelerate, then Wednesday kind of consolidating, going down still, right? But it's more in a consolidation manner. Thursday expansion again, and then Friday back into the range. So yeah, that's how I see the market, and that's the market recap. Peace out.